Today you are going to get your time and your sanity back. You will learn how to monitor what your kids are watching on YouTube Kids, and you'll be able to trust that they are dramatically safer while watching when you don't have the time to monitor them. First, my recommendation up front. Yes, I allow YouTube Kids, but only when it's been set up in a very specific way. Now, if your child is using YouTube Kids with search and recommendations switched on, then you're not really in control, and the app is just feeding them stuff that's sending them further down the rabbit hole. The number one risk for me on YouTube Kids is that inappropriate content can still slip through. The internet has a long track record of people trying to game systems that were built for kids. Years ago, there was a wave of content on YouTube Kids which came to be known as ElsaGate. Creators were using kid-friendly keywords and characters to deliberately and maliciously sneak weird and disturbing stuff into kids' feeds. YouTube have drastically improved their system since then. Identifying this type of inappropriate content is now a lot more accurate and focused, and human reviewers are there to act on anything that make it past the automatic detection systems. Even with these positive changes though, the lesson never changed. If a system is choosing what your child watches next, that system can fail. The control measure we use here to help significantly reduce this risk is to make sure the search, recommendations and suggested videos, and autoplay settings are turned off. This helps ensure that your child doesn't accidentally discover something which they probably shouldn't have. Perhaps the most important measure is to turn on the approved content only setting. This one setting by itself will change YouTube Kids from an endless fire hose of who knows what that your kids are drinking from to a lockdown menu that they can actually choose from. You can even share content with them from the main YouTube platform directly to the kids platform, giving them immediate access to that content without having to give them access to the full YouTube platform. Now keep in mind, this is going to save you a lot of time and worry, no doubt. If your kids can only watch what you approve, then you're already eliminating a lot of the biggest risk. Be cautious though. This is not going to be a set it and completely forget it situation. Channels change and evolve over time. So it is important that in addition to reviewing and approving new channels, you go back and re-review existing channels on a consistent basis. Make sure to watch a few of the latest videos that the channel put out for content appropriateness. The second one is something that sneaks up on you. It's something that turns a little bit of screen time into a I don't have to put on my pajamas because I still have them on kind of day. Now, not a problem in itself. Everybody deserves a pajama day every now and then, granted. But with YouTube Kids, it can become an everyday occurrence. They just get dopamine hit after dopamine hit and they keep on going. The energy stays high and the content keeps sending them down that rabbit hole with the same fast, loud, dopamine heavy stuff that's taking over their feeds. And this is where parents start saying things like, my kids are cranky after watching YouTube Kids, or they can't stop watching, or they're having a meltdown every time I try and turn it off. Because it's not just about what they're watching, it's how the app pulls them back in for just one more. So make sure to turn that recommendation and autoplay features off and use the approved content only model. Just keep in mind though, that even approved content can become problematic if it's endless. There has been a huge rise of family channels on YouTube Kids. Channels labeled as The Johnson Family Show, or Carter Plays, or Emily and Jason Fun Time. These names were entirely made up, by the way. If channels like these do exist, that's pure coincidence, and please make sure to review them before actually saying that they're bad. Some of these channels are fine, some even wholesome. But then there are the ones that are basically businesses built around kids performing for views. Constant high energy chaos, loads of scripted drama, heavy product focus, and just generally a vibe that kids are acting for the camera more than living a life. I know it's the only type of content that I'm explicitly calling out as a risk, and that's because it's the type of content where the entire channel can be a risk as opposed to select moments within the content. And the problem to me is, even if entire channel is a risk, it's still allowed on YouTube Kids and being fed to your child. And to no fault of YouTube's, you can't exactly go about controlling and banning every channel where kids are the stars of the show. I mean, how would you even know that kids are being forced to do line after line, take after take, to get that line just right in order to maximize the clicks that they get? The control for me here is simple. I don't approve of any of these family type shows until I review them. And anything where the child is portrayed as the center of attention or the star of the show, it doesn't get approved. Now, if the focus is on play or learning and the child is merely a participant, that's a completely different story. It is a bit tricky to review these because you can't get a good understanding of the content from just one video. You have to watch a few videos from different time periods of the channel in order to make an accurate assessment. The thing that makes this a little bit easier is that because I have the approved content only model in place, my kids don't even know these types of channels exist. So it's very rare that they will come and ask for a specific family show style channel. Most of these things come from YouTube's open recommendations. So get a handle on that and you'll have a handle on this. Ads and marketing can be baked directly into content. From a YouTube ads perspective, the ads that are presented to children are supposed to be family friendly. The bigger issue centers around ads and marketing that are built right into the content or the so-called sponsored content. Some videos are designed to be one long toy commercial dressed up as entertainment. Kids, unfortunately, don't have the filters to recognize that they are ads like adults do, and the only thing that's going on in their mind is, I want that thing. The approved content only model mostly takes care of this from a risk perspective because this type of content can't become part of the everyday YouTube kids routine. If a channel feels like it is quietly selling something with every episode, it doesn't make the cut. The remaining risk here is that channels evolve. It can start out as one thing, and as soon as it starts getting traction and monetization becomes a factor, then these types of tactics can slowly start creeping into existing channels which you have already approved. So make sure to re-review already approved channels from time to time. The good news is that when YouTube Kids is locked down correctly, it has some genuinely great content. Educational channels, creative builds, crafts, movement, story content are but a few categories that can act as resources for both kids and adults alike. So it's not that everything is bad when it comes to YouTube Kids. It's the discovery without the controls that poses the biggest problem. And luckily, we have ways that we can manage that. YouTube Kids has something that most parents don't use. You can absolutely run it as a curated library of content rather than an algorithm-driven free-for-all. So here are my verdict conditions, because this is exactly how YouTube Kids becomes something that I am okay with. My non-negotiables list. Number 1, approved content only. I don't want the app to decide what comes next. I want me to decide what's available in the library. Number 2, search is turned off. YouTube search is the fastest way that kids can accidentally find stuff that you did not plan on. So I always make sure to turn this off. Number 3, recommendations are switched off. Recommendations is where the rabbit hole starts. And with this algorithm free for all, this is the fastest way that kids can start drinking questionable water from a fire hose. And here are a few supporting rules for you. Turn off autoplay. Enable the internal YouTube Kids timer so that you can limit your child's watch sessions. Lock your main YouTube app so that your kids can't gain access to it without a code. Make sure that you review all the channels that you approve, and make sure that you periodically go back and re-review previously approved channels. So again, yes, YouTube Kids is approved by me with these conditions in place. Not because I blindly trust it, but because with the right setup, you can dramatically reduce the risk and make it manageable without it having to take over your life. Just don't confuse made for kids with safe by default. It's a tool. The safety depends on how you manage and use it. Now, if you want a step-by-step walkthrough on how to set these controls up, that's the next video. I will show you exactly how to set this up, and I will explain to you what each setting does in reality. I'm going to link that setup guide in the video description. So make sure that you like and subscribe so that you don't miss it. And remember, if you have an app, game, or platform that you want me to review, check the video description for my contact information and let me know. If this was helpful to you and you would like to support the work, there is a link in the description to buy me a coffee. Completely optional.